Hi everyone, welcome back to Tallulah Talks. That is me. It's Sunday, so it's time for Sunday's Haunting Hour. And today, just like last week, it involves accused witches. Again, I kind of came across this on TikTok from a TikTok channel called, I think it's The Paranormal Files. And I'm pretty sure he goes into these houses to investigate and has the experiences himself. And so this one is UK based, and it is about the same time that the Salem witch trials were going on. There was a lot of women accused of witchcraft for, various different reasons. And so the house we're going to be looking at today is actually nicknamed The Cage. And it is nicknamed The Cage because it used to hold prisoners. And these prisoners were the accused witches, where they would be tried, tortured, and eventually hanged. And so it does make the home very, very haunted. So yeah, we are just going to get started. Apologies for the bird in the background. Yeah, he likes to chat, and I only live in a one-bedroom house, so unfortunately, we're just going to have to deal with it. So, it's actually in what is known as a cursed village called St. Osyth, and it is previously, like I said, a village jail where people would be kept overnight, but it is known best for holding accused witch Ursula Kemp. Now, I have never heard of Ursula Kemp. I don't know if she's like famous in that certain part of the country. I'm not entirely sure. So she was accused and found guilty of witchcraft, and she was hanged in Chelmsford along with Elizabeth Bennet, who I believe I have heard of, but it might have been in like a book or something. It was originally used in the 1500s for imprisonment of accused witches, and little else is known about its history, so I've only put in like what I could dig up. It was used in the 19th century. The building was converted into a private home. However, it was still used as a prison until 1908. At this time, witch trials were really popular. It was kind of like an epidemic. Because during like the 15 and 1600s, a lot of people were accused, tried of witchcraft. 14 witches were rounded up and tried for witchcraft, and this included Ursula Kemp, who was originally arrested for allegedly cursing the townspeople, hexing, and causing people to die of mysterious illnesses. I'm not sure how they came to this conclusion, but people were very into, I guess, like their conspiracy theories at this time, and there was no other explanation, and so they immediately went to, must be witchcraft. In reality, it's Sunday. Ursula made homemade herbal mixes, and this was to help heal people who came to her with their problems. Accused witches, along with Ursula, were imprisoned and actually tortured in this prison, which would explain why it is so haunted with their spirits. Once they were tried and hanged, the women were buried in unholy ground. The house was then later made into a quarantine home for those who had contracted the plague. So moving on to the hauntings, Vanessa Mitchell owns the home from 2004 until like present day. And she actually frequently reported seeing ghostly apparitions. The village, like I did say earlier, it is known to be quite cursed, and most homes were actually built in the 15th century, which would mean that most of the homes are actually probably haunted. She was very aware of the history of the home, and she was aware of the hauntings that took place. And she actually had her first experience on the day that she moved in. When she was unpacking, she saw a ghostly dark figure. From that moment, Vanessa stated, "The house is bad, there's something wrong with the house." Vanessa was a single mum living alone with a baby. Quote, I knew from the first day something was in the house, end quote. Vanessa since then has seen many apparitions and described them as very intelligent. Quote, a lot of spirits in here were intelligent and very aware of my presence, end quote. There was one dark-haired figure Vanessa saw that was so clear that she was able to make out the wrinkles on its face. This was a man, and he was only visible from the waist up, and he basically looked as if he was just floating across the room. She stated that this spirit didn't seem threatening, however many of the other spirits were quite dark. She would often hear disembodied voices, and she actually often heard children running and laughing upstairs. And this could be from when the home was used as a quarantine house. This could be children who died from the plague. There are often unexplained knocks, bangs, and sounds of footsteps, especially on a set of wooden stairs. Toys would be moved across the room as if being played with by the children, and obviously Vanessa had a child of her own. Vanessa also remembers seeing a big black mass that just completely filled the room, and she heard whispers saying, quote, kill yourself. At this point, she was then actually hit in the back of the head, and allegedly she was pushed from the top of the stairs when she was 8 months pregnant with her second child. Many friends who actually visited the home refused to come back, and one couple actually allegedly received the fright of their lives, and while visiting Vanessa they found they found splatters of blood in the living room, and it was all over the doors, and actually the doors and windows were closed, so it couldn't have been anyone coming in from the outside. Some blame the activity on Ursula Kemp. They think that it may be the tortured spirits coming back, maybe trying to reap some sort of revenge. Vanessa originally described the home as her dream home, and she became so scared that she actually lived in her bedroom. Despite this, Vanessa did live in the home for 3 years, and eventually the activity did actually force her out because she had to think of the safety of her and her children. Quote, I felt because it was really haunted, end quote. I left because it was really haunted. Oh my god, I swear, something wrong with me today. She did, however, hold on to the home for 10 years, as she was the owner, so she did try and sell it. In 2018, the cage was featured on a British paranormal show, Help My House is Haunted. Investigators Barry Guy, Sandy Lackdor and Chris Fleming actually spent the night in the home. During their investigation, you could see, allegedly, that Chris was physically attacked, and he described the sensation of being stabbed in the side of his head. Quote, I felt it go right through until it was almost in the back of my throat and in my sinus, end quote. Towards the end of the episode, the team explored a hidden cellar beneath the dining room floor, and they believe that this is where the prisoners from back in the 1500s, this is where they believe they were held. Barry climbed down, and at that moment Chris captured what sounded like a growl on the audio recorder. After a cleansing ritual involving Tibetan singing bowls, Chris and Sandy stated that the atmosphere immediately changed. So whether this actually worked and it calmed the spirits in the house, I'm not entirely sure, because apparently previous cleansing rituals just hadn't done the job. As of 2019, I believe it's still on the market, and according to someone on TikTok who lives just up the road from the house, they have never been in the house, but they basically said that it was bought and it was meant to be turned into like a tourist B&B, but like nothing's come of it. So whether that's because of the activity, I'm not entirely sure. I think it would be quite interesting to visit. I'm not sure if it's open to the public, but it would be quite interesting to visit the home and see what activity would take place. I'm actually going to watch the episode and see what happens in the episode, because I've not actually seen it. But that is the end of today's haunting hour. It is a very short one because, again, I couldn't really find much on it. If you have any paranormal cases or homes you would like me to look into, please leave a comment and I'll gladly do that for you.